when your life's escaping your mind. Keep in mind.
And we're back for what could be the final game of the Summit 3 SEA Grand Finals. Right now, Rave lead MVP Phoenix 2-1. Both teams had a moment to breathe. They took their time joining the lobby. It was a long game. It was a stressful game. Ninja Boogie is saying he thinks he's going to die at a young age if these games keep on happening. He's like, what, 23 or something? So
it's not a laughing matter, LD. It's not a laughing matter.
He's okay. Ooh. It's all in his head.
Yep, I hope so.
It was a stressful game, number 3. And Rave emerged victorious. They now just need one more game, GoDz.
Yeah. So one game away. They're going to have the confidence. They beat MVP in a game they shouldn't have. And that's one of those, I think, more demoralizing things for the team, like a team like MVP, when you should have won and didn't. For Rave, it's like, well, hey, we're up 2-1. Now we can relax a bit more, have that little bit of breathing room, and just kind of play at ease in Game 4.
Well, let's see what they're cooking up here for Game 4. Again, MVP, they got to win 2 in a row. The bans are pretty standard. The Storm has been sometimes getting banned second stage, not first always, but this opens up the pool a lot. Pretty much anything that these teams want is available as far as like their standard go-to picks.
Yeah. The big picks have been the Witch Doctor, the Axe, as well as the
Ember's been pretty big.
Last game was Medusa instead. So Witch Doctor gets first pick 2 games in a row now.
We saw the Chen first pick once. I don't think that's something Rave will probably... I doubt they look for that after the Switch.
I think it wasn't first picked, I think.
It was first phase picked once.
Okay.
By, I think it was by MVP.
I think it was third pick that game, from memory.
Maybe, I don't... I thought it was first phase, but I could be wrong. Oh, Rave's going to go for the Shaker, and this I like. I feel like Shaker's been a very high-impact hero this series.
They take away the MVP Phoenix Quap, something which I feel is more a deny pick, because if they wanted to pick their more standard heroes, they'd get like a Shadow Fiend there.
Yeah.
I think they just keep getting put under too much pressure when they go for the Shadow Fiend and want to make up for...
Rave definitely should look at that last game and be like, we were lucky to win. If MVP plays correctly there, we lose 9 out of 10 games from that situation. But as a result, going to try to adapt their draft. MVP will go in for the Axe now. It gives them some good lockdown, but at the same time, a hero who can struggle to lane against this Queen of Pain, and that is the flexibility that the hero brings to bear. It doesn't have to go mid. Could very well be their safe lane farmer.
5 seconds remaining.
So MVP going to keep at what's been working for them, but it makes it a bit easy for Rave to figure out some of these bans moving forward. Probably see that Drow ban once more. They've taken the Queen of Pain, so it's a hero they don't have to ban out themselves. I'm not sure they'll be too worried about the Lycan. MVP are on the dire side, but they handled it pretty nicely in that previous game.
And especially with this Queen of Pain pick, it does make for weaker lanes for MVP.
Yeah.
Rave could potentially win 2 or even 3 with an Axe and Lycan, 2 fairly lower impact laning stage heroes. Now the Chen gets banned. MVP...
10 seconds
I don't know if that's something that... I guess Rave could go for that with the Queen of Pain and then just look to snowball all their lanes.
It seemed like a weak pick when the games Rave have lost and had trouble. Like on all 3 games so far, it's been the laning stage where their safe lane gets contested and they just lose 2 out of the 3 lanes. And the Chen pick would make that worse. You've got an Earthshaker and a Chen as your 2 supports. Neither of those heroes is a good lane support. I think Chen would have been a really bad pick for Rave, but MVP may be worried about more a mid-game playstyle issue with the Chen.
Now the Batrider ban out as well. It's not been a popular hero this series, that's for sure. Hasn't been very successful either, but it can be a game-winning hero all the same. Changes the way you have to play a lot.
I wonder if Rave will consider going back for the Ember Spirit. They're not prioritizing it as a first pick anymore, which I think is a good move to take some of these... The heroes where there's overlap. The heroes that MVP will take that you also like to play, it gives MVP a harder time. And then if they leave the Ember Spirit there, you know... I mean, MVP also play Ember Spirit. They've got Qo who plays a good one, but I think Rave are in a much better position if they save the Ember Spirit for like a 3rd or 4th pick for their drafts.
I would agree with that. 4th ban now going to come out for Rave. Maybe one of those strong carry heroes, the Drow. I don't think they're afraid of the Lycan. What else do MVP Phoenix run? Is there anything less common? Storm's been banned, Troll's been banned. That's pretty much it, really. Queen of Pain, Lycan, Drow.
Yeah.
They ran one game with the Slardar, one random game with the Luna. They lost both of those games.
Rave ban the Ember and take the TA, so pseudo counter pick as far as the Ember goes, being able to burn down the Refraction pretty easily, although also has really low armor, so it kind of works a bit both ways, but
yeah,
you want to have at least a hero to deal with that Refraction. Maledict does so, takes a bit of time, but does eventually deal with it.
Yeah, you can also meld dodge the chains potentially, so could be an irritant, but will be banned out. So MVP are gonna have to find other solutions here. I mean, there's always things like a Viper would lane great against Queen of Pain or TA.
What a yucky hero, but MVP
yucky,
like their Viper, yeah.
I mean, it's yucky, but it might be just what they need is just a more straightforward 5-man pushing lineup.
They're all about the lane dominators, so maybe that is kind of where they lean towards. Have someone like a Viper and then get your last pick, like a Drow Viper Axe. Like, I think that makes us your Axe doesn't get the true shot, but
yeah, I would like to see them just go straight into Drow Viper now. Maybe you take the Drow first, because I don't see Rave picking Viper.
Yep.
But I could see Rave going for the Drow themselves. In fact, I would be a little worried about that if I were MVP right now.
Yeah,
because if they get the Drow, they already have Quap TA with a Shaker, and then they have 3 ranged carries against an Axe. There's potential to win all of their lanes.
Yeah, and with Earthshaker, Defensive Fissure, like either the Quap or the Drow can still offlane, so the first thing that kind of pops up is like, oh, how do they lane it? But you've got Earthshaker, you can dual lane it. There is aggression from an Axe. They're going to go back to the Ogre support, which seemed to work pretty well for them earlier today, so...
Yeah, it's an interesting pick. I didn't feel like he was... Even though they won that game, I didn't feel like he was huge. No, actually, they lost that one. They did lose the Ogre game.
Yeah, that was...
that was the Gyro mid Yule Scepter game.
Yeah.
All right, well, bristle it up. Not the Drow, it's the Bristle. A bit of a safer choice here. They get a tanky frontliner, hero that still scales well into late game. I'm a little worried for Rave, or for MVP rather. I'm not sure. Like the draft doesn't seem to have a clear direction right now.
I feel a similar thing with MVP, but they haven't also really revealed their big cards yet. They're kind of holding on close, and it's going to be a Naga game. Okay,
all right.
I don't know. I don't feel like the MVP still go back to the Naga Siren fairly frequently, but I don't know how effective it's going to be against this Rave team. I think Rave have the ability to take objectives fast, take fights fairly constantly. There's going to be a lot of pressure on this Axe and whatever the last core here is for MVP to create space for the Naga Siren.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I feel like the other thing for MVP is it just seems like their go-to strats are not working, and so they're kind of scrambling to find another way.
Yeah,
and that's...
we won games in the past with Nagas, let's go back to that.
And so it's like, oh, this didn't work. Maybe we'll throw a tiny wisp out there, that type of thing. Even when it's not really a super go-to strategy. That we keep seeing the exact same bans too. Like teams are mixing up what they first pick. Like we've gone from the Ember Spirit first pick to like Witch Doctor and Axe and Earthshaker. But these bans, the Wisp Troll has not changed from Rave. The Storm Venge has not changed from MVP Phoenix. So we're seeing the same 4 bans every single game as far as the first stage goes. Yeah, they did have the one game where they picked the Storm themselves. Yeah. But if they're not picking it, they don't want to be giving it away. Well, GoDz, cores are out for Rave. They'll just be looking for another support here as their final selection. What do you expect? Is this like just a go-to Skywrath game, or do they maybe try to get a little greedier, even run a jungler like an Enigma? MVP will ban out the Lion, who is a good counter to the illusions of the Naga.
Yeah, I was thinking Lion there for the illusions. Otherwise, maybe a Dazzle for like some good 5-man. You can use the Weave pretty well, and
you are up against the Axe. The Grave may or may not be useful, but is still a strong hero otherwise.
Depends how much you want to prioritize pushing in 5-man too. If you want some healing options on your team, but I think having a zoning support, they're likely going to be up against an Axe Witch Doctor dual lane in the offlane. We've seen a few times. Could even be an offensive trial lane. MVP Phoenix aren't worried about doing that. So getting a strong laning zoning support is kind of the biggest thing.
This was the mistake that Rave made in Game 2, was they did not pick strong laning supports. And I think they go back to that game and say, if we picked Earthshaker Skywrath instead of Rubik Tree, the series would be over right now. Or at least we would have had a very good shot at taking it.
Well, there's the Viper. A good kind of hero to fight. You need heroes that can fight while your Naga Siren is still trying to farm the Radiance. From like 8 to 15 minutes, your lineup's going to be really weak. So you need heroes, core heroes that shine then.
Beats Queen of Pain and TA in lane. Great against Bristle later on with the Viper Strike. This is a really good Viper game. And most of their burst is from that Mystic Flare. So, of course, as the Viper, your Corrosive Skin will come in handy here. I like the Viper pick. I guess the big question mark is going to be, can MVP hang on? Can they get enough done in the laning stage to buy this Naga some time? There is a chance here that Rave just run them over, especially with the Shaker Skywrath duo. Ninja Boogie and Cast have been very high impact throughout this series.
Yeah, well, we'll see how things work out here, as looks like the draft complete now, and it's going to be a Chrissy TA, it looks like. So we'll see if he goes, well, he almost definitely will be going to that mid lane, putting the Queen of Pain into the safe lane. And that's also, like, having just a safe lane farmer. This is the first game we're seeing Rave really have a safe lane farmer that's actually a good lane controller and can actually put some pressure. Against the Axe, Queen of Pain is like a really nice hero to have farming in your safe lane.
The big go-to here they normally are accustomed to having in the safe lane is the Troll, but the Troll's been banned every game, so... Let's introduce our lineups here, guys. I think our first pause of the series. Is that right?
Maybe. Could be.
Knocking on wood.
I don't want to... Don't want to confirm or deny, but quite possibly.
Let's run through the players. So you got Ninja Boogie on the Earthshaker, Ryo going to be playing the Bristleback, Jo on the Queen of Pain, Chrissy will be the TA, and it puts Cast onto the Skywrath. As for your Dire Squad MVP Phoenix, trailing 1-2 in the best of 5, they got to win out here to come to LAN in Los Angeles. QO on the Axe, Nuts will be your Ogre, Febby handling the Witch Doctor, K Phoenix, he'll be in the most important role here on the Naga Siren, and that does leave March as the Viper. Yeah, they could go aggressive trialing for sure. Viper, Witch Doctor, Ogre, very strong.
Yeah,
and Axe 1v1 should be able to hold his own against Bristle.
I think it's going to be maybe something, a key thing MVP can do is not send the Axe against the Queen of Pain, which is something that Rave kind of hoping for, and maybe look to line up with the Queen of Pain pick. So send someone like Axe safe lane, potentially even just dual lane.
You can even send the... yeah.
Like, you could just do Ogre Viper off lane, or Witch Doctor Viper, but...
That's true.
I think, a safer way may be just going for the full tri lane.
I mean, one thing is that Axe does, like, dominate TA mid as well, but the problem is then it kind of throws your other lanes for a loop. You don't really want Naga 1v1 top. Naga +1 is going to struggle against Bristle, and a Naga tri-lane is fairly weak, so I think they're unlikely to see that, but...
The Naga's kind of
Axe does really have his way with TA.
Yeah. Looks like MVP will be ready to go, and we'll get Game 4 underway. Rave with a 2-1 lead. 1 win away from a trip to LA, to sunny Los Angeles, to enjoy the Summit 3.
And some guaranteed prize money. You get to LAN, you will win prize money, so it's not just about the trip. They'll be looking for more as well, whoever qualifies, but for Rave right now, they've got business to attend to. Need to close out MVP. If you go into that deciding Game 5, well, maybe MVP will have the momentum at that point, GoDz. It could put Rave in an uncomfortable position. And they have lost 1 game this series due to draft. Gotta be... This one looks like a solid draft for them, so just about having a good start here. Get your TA, Queen of Pain going the right way, and find some openings with the Shaker, Skywrath. Here we go. MVP move is 4 into the Radiant Jungle. K Phoenix leads the charge. He'll be going mid, rushing the bottle. And it looks like the Viper will be the tri-lane farmer, so pretty much the predictable lanes here from MVP. No smokes picked up. Looks like they want to focus on contesting the farm early. And as for Rave, imagine we just see the TA go mid. You know, Chrissy going to rush the bottle. You'll see Bristle in the offlane. Gets the backup from Cast. So the big thing, I guess, is Rave are going to do some dual lanes. Very difficult to get a kill down bottom with the Earthshaker sitting back with Fissure and a Blinker to jump out if things get a little dicey.
And Rave scout out the 3 heroes down bottom, so maybe going to be ready for this trial in here. Well, top will get zoned away from Bounty Rune, so 1 Bounty Rune apiece, but importantly, Rave get the scouting information of the lane setup.
Yeah, both teams going to get their very easy bottle mid now, it looks like. K Phoenix up to 630 gold, Chrissy the same.
Yeah. So I think Rave making a good move and just sending the Skywrath top, trying to focus on winning that offlane and then just playing defensively, not giving up kills down bottom in this tri lane. As the Viper Ogre with the Witch Doctor is just not really a lane they can easily win. They're even going to fissure block this. This is not something you see on your safe lane every day, but it's kind of cool. I like it.
Oh, but they have the one range creep that got through. Okay, that's interesting.
That's actually okay. It'll push out in their favor.
Oh, top lane QO taking some heavy harassment here from Cass. They may even try for a first blood attempt. Yep. I think they're going for QO. He's just gonna have to TP himself back to the tower. Oh, close call. Maybe he should have gone Fountain. He's got tangos, but he's gonna have to blow through all of them just to get back to full health. Well, that lane's won for Rave. That's not gonna be an easy lane for the Axe any longer.
And it feels like, well, they're not going to be able to win bottom lane by any means, but they should be able to just do well enough, have Jo sit back, get a few CS here or there. Leech XP, the lane is still pushing down bottom, and it's not like...
They can't stop him from getting experience either. They don't have that much
there's no pull. Like, it's not like you're on the Radiant off lane where you can pull the camp to get your next creep wave. This is just going to keep on pushing out until it reaches the tower, and then maybe the lane equilibrium will change. The one
concern for MVP is that they have an Ogre support. Now... He's not going to be able to get too much done against like the Bristle Skywrath, I feel. He will try to jump on mid. And Ignite can be very annoying for TA. He does instantly just burn through all those refraction charges, but Chrissy's still farming well. Yeah. Even with that Naga.
Probably the place where Ogre could be most useful, at least short term, was just a bit of harass on mid, but yeah.
Like he goes top. I don't really know how much he does here. Maybe he'll just stack the woods. Yes. That may be the best option.
Stacking for your Naga, seems ideal. So that's a bit of a worry. One of MVP support's going to be kind of struggling to find a home. Ninja Boogie kind of similar-ish thing. He's going to be just moving around a lot. Denies the bot rune.
They might get both runes now. Ninja Boogie, what's it going to be? Delicious bounty rune for him. But the double damage is claimed by Nuts.
Yeah.
Ryo should know about this. There's a ward. So no real kill potential.
Yeah, it's a level 1 Ogre too, so unlikely to be able to get too much. I don't think Nuts wants to fight this. He has boots, so he should be okay to get out with Ryu not having boots himself, but taking a lot
It's a sad day when the double damage Ogre can't even take a fight.
Yeah.
They even sent the courier just walking all the way up top just to try to help QO out with an extra set of tangos. The harassment comes out from the double damage Ogre, gets the stun off. Nuts can't get the job done though. And meanwhile in this bottom lane, in spite of the Viper tri-lane and now a dual lane, Jo is leading on CS.
Yeah. This is the first game of this series where laning CSing has gone Rave's favor. Last 3 games, it's been at least 2 out of the 3, and often all 3 lanes being won as far as last hits.
It really comes back to the support duo, getting the Skywrath, Earthshaker, and a strong lane farmer in the Queen of Pain.
Yep.
That's making the difference.
I feel like this has always been a key kind of component of MVP's playstyle and what's led them to a lot of success. Like last game, it's going to come down to these Rat Dota type plays and all that, but what got them there in that advantageous position was the laning stage, and MVP not getting that laning advantage is a bit of a worry. They haven't got heroes that really offer a huge amount of comeback potential, like Ogre, Witch Doctor as a support duo. These heroes aren't really going to turn things around. And
the biggest concern for me is not only are they not winning their lanes, but the Naga is getting wrecked mid. 9 CS at 3.5 minutes. Chrissy at 22 and 12, denying her experience. Just dominating this matchup early on.
Yeah, KP not having fun at all. He's really going to need stacks in his jungle if he's this far behind.
Honestly, when this tier hits 6, they could consider like a rotation towards mid. Queen of Pain doesn't need help. You send a Fissure and maybe Cast comes as well from top. That could easily be your first blood.
Yeah.
And he's not going to skill net the Naga. Most likely just going to continue leveling up the Riptide and the Illusion. So then it would come down to the supports having a TP. Well, right now Febby has one.
And again, Rave controlling all the runes, something which is going to help even increase this lead of theirs. They'll have to bottle crow the TA, but Chrissy doesn't care about runes more than he just wants to stay in this lane as much as possible. Ryu, who refilled his bottle, going to take some harass, but with the refilled bottle, he's not even getting zoned out. I like this move where they're just controlling the runes, even giving one to the Bristleback just to sustain him in the off lane. It feels like MVP are really under pressure to get something done, especially when they went for this kind of laning setup.
Aggressive items coming out now. Chrissy going straight into phase boots, gets the magic stick, and also denying creeps, continues to just slaughter KP mid. I will say this has been a bit of an issue for K Phoenix. I feel like it's pretty rare to see him just outskill his opponent's 1v1 lately, and I think it speaks more to just how strong Rave's laning is, and even some of the Hot 6 players were getting the better of him in the previous series. Not the easiest matchup for Naga with all the refraction damage, but not supposed to lose the lane quite this hard as a Naga.
Yeah. Chrissy just showing off his laning prowess, and well, Naga, I guess at least a decent hero to catch up with some flash
See,
farm.
he's no Yao, dude. He can play other heroes besides Ember.
Oh yeah. Hey dude, even Yao when he's playing Ember gets outlast hit, so it's his mid game.
I really hope Yao just shuts all the haters up and returns to prominence.
He's switching to the offlane. I feel a role he's much more suited to.
I agree. The Yao Mag needs to make a comeback, man.
Yeah, his playmaking ability is there. It's just been his laning where he's sometimes had issues.
Speaking of Yao, I'm really looking forward to actually seeing some of these Chinese teams play. Mid lane. Chrissy is gonna dive onto KP. If they have the +1, I honestly think they could be getting a kill here.
Yeah, KP not quite level 6. He's actually one creep away from it. J bottom gonna find himself surrounded by 3.
Nice fissure.
And no points in the ensnare, so no real.
Yeah, not normally your go-to skill is a Naga.
That's what MVP have to do just to secure KP a rune though. That is, that's worrying.
You know, Ryo gonna get caught out in the river. Quills are level 3 though. They better kill him off quickly here. The call comes out. If they get one spin, he's definitely done for. If not though, the bottle charges may keep him alive here. The Quills stacking up. Now the TA comes in. Could easily be a double. No teleports. The Ignite gets the kill first.
Man.
Blood going to MVP. Oh man, now the X gets a dunk. It's a 2-for-1. That looked easy. Looks like Jo may get QO. No, he's already used the blink. I think QO just walks away. Hustles back to the tower, courtesy of that Calling Blade move speed, and he'll end up surviving.
Okay.
What a train wreck.
That pulls off both the mid and the safe lane farmer off their lanes for a bit. KP, though, overextending.
He's got Song.
Yeah, forced to Song. Bottom lane being pressured.
Well, that is so big. They forced the Quap to TP, doesn't get the kill. Now Jo just takes over the farm in that lane. Bristle could have lived, walked away, and I think they probably still get the first blood for Rave, but just let that Ogre strut up on him and toss out the stun.
He knew he could kite around the axe, but he just didn't really have it in his mind like, oh, Ogre, he just, once he gets another nuke, I'm dead. Whether it was an Ignite or a Fire Blast.
Well, on the back of that, suddenly it's MVP Phoenix with the lead. About 1,000 gold lead, 500 experience. Still Rave in okay position, but they could just be so much more comfortable. It looked like they were going to win every aspect of the laning stage.
Yeah.
And now the CS has really started to slant MVP's way. It's outside of the TA, and things are stabilizing here for the Phoenix boys.
Yeah, and even KP's kind of getting all his farm now. He hasn't really, like, he's still behind on CS, but it hasn't really changed as far as the margin between the two, and KP making sure he gets pretty much all the CS in every way from now on with the 3 points in the mirror images, and things are not the worst here. You've got you're ahead on gold and you have a Naga Siren, so you're much more kind of gearing up towards that late game play, and so MVP will be a lot more pleased with where things currently stand.
Yeah, the pace of the game is slowing down. Nobody's really snowballing. QO is going to miss on the spin. Jo has a regen rune and the ulti, but with that Vit booster picked up, doesn't really want to make a go. It's going to take more than the Scream ulti. Yeah. He needs like one more round of a Scream and then drop the combo.
Maybe a Shadow Strike.
Shadow Strike, one more Scream, then you can maybe go.
Thinking about it.
He's got to be very careful. If you dive under the tower and QO gets the call off, you are so dead.
Yeah. Looks like QO's just going to stay up there with the Tango. Pings out onto Jo, but here comes your Earthshaker. Fissures what could set up the kill on QO. Does not get scouted out as well.
They just got vision, but it's right at the moment when that fissure could come out. He gets it off. Jo, though, was called under the tower, drops the Quap ulti, but now gets ignited. He's almost in chop range. Where's that last Scream? He can't get it off. They tried to commit on the axe. He's just too tanky. Now a dunk. They'll get the double for QO. Oh, no.
They're going in
Phoenix mid, though. This could be the trade that makes it digestible.
The Witch Doctor
Chrissy coming in, though. The heal keeps him alive. Phoenix will end up falling. Maybe Febby goes down here, too. Chrissy going to commit for it. Gets the double kill back the other way. However, does get stunned under tower, brought down. Nuts has no real mana left to chase any further.
That Witch Doctor heal, I think, saving the axe at top lane, and just Axe's pure tankiness with that Vit booster build now has a completed Vanguard. QO is 3-0. He is...
They thought they had him, too.
Filthy rich.
I mean, that is the risk, you know? You tower dive him, and he gets the call off. And they had no real way to prevent a call. Like, they were not going to burst him before he cast that, so it was always going to be a little tricky. That's costly for Rave. The TA and the Queen of Pain both dying. Ryo just trying to play catch up here. And that TA dropping, that is their most farmed hero as well, so...
It was just a solo kill to your Ogre. I mean, it gets Ogre level 7, by the way. He is suddenly...
Our Shaker's level 3 in the meantime.
The XP mattering more than the actual farm for Nuts at this point, but having...
As well as Chrissy dying, like...
Yeah, having multicast at this stage is huge for an Ogre.
Has some potential here, and especially on TA, you have the Viper as well as the Ignite, two heroes that can easily remove Refraction. So multicast can almost instantly kill a TA if you get it. Ninja Boogie in a bit of danger here. Has the Fissure. He's going to drop it, but they get eyes on him. Now the cast comes a bouncing. Mystic Flare was used, and they don't actually manage to finish off that Witch Doctor, but a blink forward will secure the kill. In the meantime, March going hard in the paint here, diving the tier 1 bottom. I don't think they can even punish this tower dive. Where's the backup? They got nothing. They'll just TP himself away. That is one weakness of Rave. Outside of the Earthshaker, they have very weak counter gank. No real lockdown. Only the one stun for the entire lineup, actually.
March just knowing really well the limits of his hero to just dive into 3, dive into tower, and
almost has his mech. MVP are really stabilizing GoDz.
A lot's going to come down to Chris on this TA. He needs to have a big mid game around the Queen of Pain and the Bristleback. But yeah, Chrissy himself is going to have some broad shoulders, it seems.
It's just a tough game for TA to do that, though. There's so many ways to remove Refraction, really good kiting potential from Ignite. The Viper slows, the Axe Call, the Battle Hunger to also remove Refraction. You've got the Net and the Song. Like, it's just not one of those games where TA can easily and confidently walk up and find solo kills.
Ding, ding, ding. Ninja Boogie. Multicast. No call off. He does get the Fissure, but the dunk actually not even needed.
Oh, now QO's the one going in for the big kills. He gets the spin, misses the dunk, though. We'll be able to run Ryo down, perhaps. No, Ryo going to turn and start hitting him. He'll TP out towards safety. Nuts, meanwhile, also going to TP out. Where are these Fissures to cancel the TPs? I fear this may become a recurring trend as this game moves along.
Yes, dead, and suddenly things don't go too well. Joe maybe even has to think like a Yule's build or something. I don't know, because the lack of lockdown is a big issue when you're against a Viper who's just diving past you, and Axe who's gone for this fast Vanguard, so he's just tanking up. And yeah, I feel like a Yule's on Jo could even be justified for your Queen of Pain, but it's a kind of a small little deviation. It's not going to be a game changer on its own right.
And even then, it's going to be a while until he gets it.
Yeah.
He's got 300 gold, just the very basic items.
The biggest problem right now is how fed QO is. That top lane was not meant to go as well as it did for the Axe, but a few overextensions and QO just...
He was really struggling early. Yeah. You go back to the first level, he lost almost all his HP, had to use a teleport scroll just to get back to the tier 1, blow all his tangos to heal up. They even had to ferry out a second set of tangos with the courier before it was a flying courier. It had to walk down the top lane, which also hurt the Nog of K Phoenix a bit. But that investment pays off now in a huge, huge way. And MVP start to get their map control. They're going to take the tower bottom, drop a ward over in the lane. And Rave are the ones very much on the back foot here, GoDz.
Oh, yeah. And Rave can just kind of sit back and avoid the... What's going to be like kind of a 4-man push. Once the Axe has Blink, and you combine that with the Viper mech, those two heroes are going to fight around the two supports. Naga-san could theoretically get a bit involved as well, try to use a Song with a setup, but you're not really setting up too many big combos here as far as the MVP team fight goes.
Vanguard, they are going to really struggle to bring him down. Mystic Flare will be their main tool. If they don't get the full duration Mystic Flare on him, I don't see this Axe dying.
Looks like they have... I think they may have scouted out with the Observer Ward on the low ground, or at least they should have a good idea anyways, based on how farmed the Axe got at top lane and how many kills he got. But this is not the movement they're expecting.
They're worming their way through the trees. They get the call up on Chrissy. Now the Death Ward coming in. It's mostly focusing the Earthshaker. Now turns onto Chrissy, who's getting dove and finished off under his tier 1 mid. Just run over. Jo deployed his ultimate, killed off the Febby Witch Doctor, but now he takes a blink call. Just a handful of spins will be another chop. QO can't... Nope, he's gonna whiff, but it's okay. They still get the kill.
MVP just using their lamp strength well. Didn't even need to use the mech that fight. March, I think, ran out of mana partway through.
If you're getting run over this hard by a 4 protect 1 Naga, like, where is your comeback?
Oh, it's a big worry here. The Axe has just got no answer. They talk about the Mystic Flare needs to be the answer, but they're protecting him well. The Viper just kind of
and if he just
distracting
he could just get a casual cloak. Honestly, I think it would be reasonably justifiable, and I don't see Rave killing him with that.
Yeah.
Even without it, he's a beefcake.
There's a lot of just cheap, cost-effective items you can get, like the Crimson Guard, even going to be very useful against the TA and the Bristleback. And then, the Casual Cloak, great against the magic damage, which seems to be one of the only ways they're going to be able to kill him this game.
And now K Phoenix will begin his comeback. He's going to farm up the woods, clear out some camps. Relic is coming fairly soon. The pressure is really on Rave, but they don't have like that Bat Rider or Axe type hero that can just go around the map, setting everything up. Oh, Chrissy He's going invis right now. Maybe they get the March kill. That would be big. Tanks almost the full duration Mystic Flare. It's not enough to get the kill. He pops the mech. He keeps on going. Survives through it. Now QO into the fight. Gets in the middle of everyone. Queen of Pain down. Death Ward deployed. Ryo also on the run. Now the multicast laying into that Bristleback. Armadillo will fall as well. And now they start clubbing Chrissy. Did I mention there's a Naga in this game? There's a Naga in this game. This is...
There is.
I wouldn't say it's over, but it's going to take some big throws now for MVP to lose this.
Yeah, so you're losing 4v5 without the Naga coming in, and it's like, is there something you're waiting for that's going to change that? And like looking around at items and where heroes are, it doesn't really feel that way. Bristleback maybe picks up like his Vanguard. Your Earthshaker's not looking at any... Maybe a level 6 for your Earthshaker. Your Tia gets a Blink. That's the one item it feels like they've got coming their way that's going to change things a tiny bit, but if you still get caught by an Axe Blink Call, you're dead. There's Dust, there's Viper Strike, there's ways to deal with Refraction. I don't think it's anywhere near a big enough item that's going to change these 4v5 fights, and when Naga gets Radiance, it's possibly good night for Rave here in Game 4.
That would put us in a deciding Game 5 if MVP can collect themselves, keep it together, and hold on. As Chrissy mid lane is going to commit for a tower. Oh, nice blink out.
Has fallen.
Big plays there by Chrissy. They need that tower gold. Every little precious cent they can put together for the team will be essential. Honestly, later on this game, I feel like Rave need to have a gold lead just based on hero matchups, GoDz. Nuts will get jumped mid lane. They're going to try to go in here with the Queen of Pain, chucking out the ultimate. It's not good enough, though. Now the song, Nuts will just TP home. They will look to turn this with a call. He's going to catch... Oh, actually, only one. Looked like he'd get 3, but Ninja Boogie able to back out. Another hero, the TA, able to blink away. And now comes back in. The Fissure connects on 3. Maybe they can at least get Febby. Ryo now pursued down in the river. Fortunately, QO's out of mana here, so there won't be any more chops, but he actually... Oh, maybe they can even bring him down. They're trying to with Jo and Chrissy, but QO is awful tanky. He goes in, gets the call on 2. Now March gonna go to work. Chop number 1. He just hit the mana with the stick. They'll TP away that Queen of Pain, but your Templar Assassin falling here for Rave. An unacceptable casualty. In good news, though, Naga did die. That is the one really good piece of news here for Rave.
So Naga going down, coming to the fight there, but...
Technically, it's a win for them, as far as the numbers go.
With a 3 for 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Very slight.
Very slight, it feels like. The Ag still coming out with more money, more farm. He's almost got an Ag Scepter now.
They have no solution for this guy.
It really feels that way. And with an Ag, get that Culling Blade threshold down lower, give him more mana pool to keep on using them in a fight. There is a lot of just squishy low HP heroes. The Skywrath, he's going to be getting dunked from practically full HP. He has not got the HP to survive that. Earthshaker, similar story. You've got 2 heroes on sub 800 HP.
And it's a level 4 Shaker. I mean, not that he's the most level dependent hero, but you would like to have an Echo Slam at some point this game. You're up against the Naga. You want every bit of that you can get to clear out these illusions. Rain of Health. Man, these are just small items for Rave. Just now completing the Vanguard on Ryo. It is a good Vanguard game. It's also a good Crimson Guard game against the Naga illusions. You can make an argument for it. We'll see if Ryo wants to continue in that vein, but these are just small pickups when you look across the river and see MVP. Double Ags coming soon, not just the Axe that you mentioned, but also the Viper Ags en route. And oh, by the way, Radiance will be out fairly soon.
So they'll keep on using Naga just to farm the jungle. I think possibly MVP realizing, okay, that fight at mid, kind of a 50-50, slightly bad for them on gold, but a fight they don't need to take when things were working for them, going for the 4v5 play where they get a pick off, create space for Naga, trying to use the Naga sleep defensively to start the fight, and then take kind of a risky fight like that isn't really necessary.
They want to contest. They're going to walk towards the Roche pit here. Ryo in the front has the Vanguard, and in he goes. Fissure, a complete airball though from Ninja Boogie. A terrible way to start the fight. Doesn't stun anyone. It almost blocks his own team out as Chrissy, Jo, and Ryo all pursued. They get the call on 2. 1 down, making a double Dunkarino as QO will just look to clean up. Now Chrissy trying for the meld blink. Blinks to the north. Dire team has vision, and they'll track him down. This could be a triple slam. Jam! Thank you, ma'am! MVP. Time to take your Roche. This is having your cake, eating a 2. 4 kills going their way. The lone survivor is the rather underwhelming level 5 Earthshaker.
Starting to feel like game 2 all over again with MVP. Not going to be a 13-minute GG, but 20 minutes in with a Naga Siren dominating this hard. They haven't even had the Naga Siren come to play yet.
K Phoenix has had a very sad game on his Naga. But now he's got Radiance. 20 minutes. It's late. It's not been his easiest time, but it doesn't matter. His team might be able to win this 4v5. They might not even need the Naga, to be honest.
That is the
way that they're going.
I don't know about the sad state of this game, as Rave going to be running out of options fairly soon. They're getting what items they can, and it's going to be an Ags build coming out from JO's Queen of Pain, but the damage output just isn't going to be enough, it feels like. With a level 5 Earthshaker.
They're just losing this arms race. As they try to build up their damage potential to deal with QO, he's just completing beef items, and he's getting his levels. Level 15, he's got 2,000 health, plus the Witch Doctor heal, plus the mech. The Viper's at 1,600, a little bit less tanky, but
it's
he's
about
got
to change.
Skin.
He's got his Ags coming, so that'll boost it up even further.
Yeah, I don't see them bursting these heroes down, and they're really built around the burst gods. That blink meld, the Queen of Pain goes in with the Skywrath ulti. They try to just blow somebody up as quickly as possible, but they just can't get the job done.
Well, we'll see what can change here. For Rave, it's going to come down to finding some heroes out of position, catching them, or trying to take that 5v4 fight when KP's not there, with a quick burst pick-off on someone who's ideally the Axe. You want to try bring him down to start things
You're
off.
not bursting this guy. He's got another 2k gold. He could even just buy a blade mail, so even if they do burst him, he just kills them all.
The other item which I think is always nice on Axe, maybe a little underboard, is the BKB. It's mostly magic damage from a Skywrath, Earthshaker stun. I guess there's physical TA and Bristle, but
they are not right-clicking this Axe down. So yeah, it could be a BKB game.
Well, let's hold on some money for now. Heart of Tarask, that's a dream luxury item if I've ever heard one for an Axe. I've not seen Axes farm a heart in a long time.
Tower is under attack.
And Rave just resorting to split push, but Naga is the solution for this. They'll take a little bit of map control now, but dare I say it, GoDz, with the BOTs coming out, that is probably the last time that we see Rave pressuring a tower in a very long time.
Yeah, that's the scary thing. When you're against a team who's winning every fight, has complete map control, and you can't even just split push the map to try and get whatever little crumbs are available. You're not getting the slightest bit out of the map right now. JO's doing what he can at top, but should be defendable for MVP. Doesn't look like they're going to swing any heroes up there just yet.
Radiant's middle tower.
The siege will begin. It commences now, and you're getting sieged by the Radiance Naga team. This is just ugly. They'll push in mid, and they'll slowly chip away at this tower. Now,
Naga's just keeping top. Naga has no intent of getting involved. He's
nor
should
K Phoenix. The safe play is just rat, just split push, take it late. Oh, by the way, yeah, there's a dead shaker. He's level 7. He got some experience recently, but I don't know how much it matters here. Crimson Guard is delivered now for your Bristle. Fairly durable, able to tank through a lot of this incoming damage. The Mystic Flare, though, it's an air ball as Chrissy will be forced to blink out, and in the meantime, K Phoenix just doing Naga things up top.
Yep.
It's just looking very systematic here from MVP.
So, yeah, they'll just keep at it down this mid lane. They're gonna bring down a tier 2 tower uncontested. Maybe even the top tier 2 can be just solo picked up by KP. JO shows up top to defend that one, but he may get caught out. Here comes QO from behind.
Blink. Call. He could go for it.
Playing a bit blind.
He's just walking up the cliff.
Yeah.
And then just backs away. And Rave have no intention of contesting. I think they're going to break the base now, GoDz. They're not even going to bother waiting for this Naga to farm. K Phoenix is almost a support as far as his importance for these fights. QO goes in with the Blink Call, though. He does get a bit isolated. Ryo turning his back, trying to hang on. He's dealt with by a dunk. And the rest of Rave just forced back. And Mac, suddenly back to full health. Yeah, no problem. There's your BKB. Maybe he'll walk into the enemy fountain to pick it up. At the rate this game is going, I don't see why he wouldn't.
No,
how do they stop the push? The Shaker's got no blink. There's no stopping this. And certainly not when Q is getting double calls off. He gets the Quap. He gets the TA. He's going to chop him off with your head. And into game 5 we go. Rave get run over by MVP. 2-2 the score. But both of MVP's wins have been just face roll stomps.
Yeah. Honestly, it's one of those things where you look at this series, and as much as from the get-go, Rave taking game 1, being favorites and all that, but every single game, the MVP stomped 2 games, and the 2 games they lost were ridiculously close. Game 3, MVP flat out should have won. That was their game to throw. They threw it. Game 1 was a slightly even game where MVP at least had an early game lead. I think it even was an 8k gold lead, and somehow lost it. So looking at every individual game, MVP has really delivered and never really had a bad game apart. Game 3 you can maybe call a bad game as far as execution. They
But
choked
at
a
least
bit,
they were
but
competitive in
Yeah.
the game. They didn't just get run over.
These games, it's just worrying if you're Rave.
Even if they win this series, they are not going to feel good about the way that they won, and it's no guarantee they will. If overall MVP has played better in the 4 games.
Yep.
Scores 2-2, but
That's what matters, though. The score is 2-2.
the score is 2-2.
MVP's been the better team so far today, and that may remain the case, but it doesn't mean they're winning this series.
Well, let's see if they have the answers, guys. Your deciding Game 5 is coming up. The Summit 3 SEA Grand Finals will conclude Game 5 after this.